Hi, Dr. Chauhan. How are
Hi,
you
ma'am.
doing?
Very good, very good.
It was amazing to hear you talk.
Yeah.
Number of times that you had talks, and what I really loved about everything that you spoke, I think the way you talk about how beginning is very important, right? It's not about just how fast and how far and how long have you run, how many ultras you've run, etc. But how consistent and how much have you actually been doing as a beginner? So I'd love for you to talk a little bit, especially to our runners that are doing 5 kilometers, who are just starting off, who want to kind of become much more of a runner. Talk to us a little bit, talk to them a little bit about beginning, about consistency, about running to a 5 kilometers.
So it's a very good point actually, because what happens is people who are starting and people who've done 42, they don't appreciate the beginners will keep having problems, hurdles again and again. They'll start, they'll stop, they'll start, they'll stop. So one very important one is the psychology of it is far more important than saying, how do I breathe, how do I do that? That's all good. But the point really is getting up in the morning, putting those shoes out and going out is the toughest part. And then that discipline. So my simplest tip to get started with running is find a running buddy. Start mentoring someone. So those two sides. One is that finding the running buddy, and second is start mentoring if you are wanting to get better. That'll start getting a discipline in place. Showing up is very important rather than saying what you do when you show up. So start showing up, and for a month, for 20 days, 30 days, 40 days, whatever, just start doing it, keep doing it. Don't think too hard. Is it raining? Is it doing whatever? Just show up. And so that whole peer pressure in a positive way works very, very well. So that's very important. And if you want to run, I know we are a month away from the the Hyderabad marathon and all, but if you want to run, you haven't run so far, my advice would be don't run to begin with.
Okay.
Go spend time on your feet. Get used to the idea of 30 minutes walking. So just time on your feet. The problem is people start running too much too soon. So like a kilometer first time around, everything hurts. It's great for me because I see patients with back pain, knee pain, sports injuries, all that. But come on, I mean, the idea is to get better, healthier, all that, because then you'll blame running for the injuries. Build gradually. So, those are very, very simple basic tips for a 5 kilometer runner or a 10 kilometer runner. The other thing that is very crucial is the walk-run program.
Okay.
Walk for a minute, jog for a minute, walk for a minute, jog for a minute. Don't try non-stop 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And the idea is then again, can you carry on, sustain it for 45 minutes, 30 minutes, that kind of a thing, over a period of time, like over a month or whatever. So those are seriously the simplest tips.
So, given that we have a month, right now, and it's very much possible that someone's waking up right now and realizing,
Yes.
oh, I just have 4 weeks, right? And now you're talking about walk for a minute, jog for a minute, walk for a minute, jog for a minute. But how should they progress at the next 4 weeks so that when they actually hit the arena on 27th of August, they are actually able to do enough of a jog that makes them feel good, feel satisfied?
Yeah. So that 1 minute walk, 1 minute run starts converting to 1 minute walk, 2 minutes jog.
Right.
Okay, and then eventually over some time, once you're comfortable with that, can that 2 minutes of a jog become 3? Could it become 4? So that's the kind of thing that you're doing. So you're not looking at, even in the month, saying 5 kilometers non-stop for a beginner.
Right.
It's okay to do a walk run. Don't worry about it. They'll still give you the certificate, they'll still give you the medal. All right. So don't worry about a non-stop consecutive thing. But my request would be for a beginner, don't look at a 5 kilometers, the whole lot non-stop.
Right.
Recipe for disaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting also, so we call a 5K the fun run, right?
Yes,
It's not really
yes.
timed, there's
Yes.
no particular timing attached to that. So what's the element of fun? How can someone that wants to actually exercise, that wants to move forward, that has a goal, right, to finish the 5 kilometers, how can they bring an element of fun into this?
You're right. I mean, any habit or exercise, there's a lot of study on exercise psychology talking about the fun element. It has to be that whole, the passion connected with, the fun, and which is missing. So as soon as we take that out, it's a punishment. And we need to realize that, it's very important that fun element stays there. Whatever it, and it's different things for different people. It could be a medal, could be a certificate, could be a t-shirt, could be a fluorescent t-shirt, could be a girl you have a crush on, right? So
You got to run behind her?
by side, I don't know. But the thing is, seriously, it could be various things. It could be like running for a charity, for example.
Right.
It could very well actually be like dressing up in a certain way. Whatever. It could be a bunch of friends all wearing the same color shirts, with the names at the back or something. Something that clicks, and it's never the same thing that works. It's going to be 10, 20 different things that we'll have to figure, put it out there. For some it'll work, for some it won't, and it's okay. So we'll have to be a little experimental with it. And one thing I really don't like, what should be experimented, give it a shot. Because a lot of people are naysayers, they say no before they begin, or they say no to others. Totally rubbish. If you are, say, asthmatic, give it a shot. Because I'm into sports medicine, I see enough people who don't get asthma after they do physical activity, right? High blood pressure, same story. Diabetes, same story. So don't think of them as things that you should not be doing it. A lot of my doctor colleagues, they'll tell you if you have back pain, knee pain, don't do it. For back pain, brisk walk is a very good exercise. So rather than being told don't walk, don't run, is the wrong advice. So give it a shot, go for it, become a better you. I mean, yesterday we were talking about become a better version of you, and better you is not compared to what you were as a 17,
Okay.
better you than yesterday.
So it's every day.
It's every day, just 1%. 1% every day. Don't worry about 20 years ago. It's not 20 years ago anymore, right? So forget about all that.
Yeah, so a lot of 5K runners, sometimes when people decide, when we reach that age of 40 plus and say, in school, in college, oh,
Yeah.
I used to do that, I used to
Yeah.
do this, and now I've lost all of that. The IT jobs I have and the kind of, sedentary lifestyle that's come up, and I really need to get going, right? What's your message, or what are your techniques or tips to someone who's over there?
Start from scratch. Start from scratch. We're not 17 anymore, so too bad. You aren't 17. Wake up to that. So problem we have is if you keep going back to that, hey, as a 17 I did this, you will end up starting from there, and second day, third day you'll get injured in a major way, right? So start from scratch. Be humble enough to realize that you aren't a 17. Start with baby steps. The walk run that I'm saying, very, very powerful. Someone who's been very active earlier will get to that fitness level sooner. That'll very probably happen. But don't start from too quick. So just for a month, bear with me, gradually, just keep building it up and you'll get there. People who've not been active, it does not necessarily mean that they'll not get there either. It might be a little longish journey, little bit more, 10 extra days, 15 extra days. Consistency, the discipline is going to be crucial. So that again, that 1% every day kind of a thing. Just get up, just show up. That's the job done really.
Which I think is one of the biggest mountains. Yesterday we were talking about La Ultra, and you were talking about moving mountains within. And for somebody that's getting onto a 5K, the biggest mountain I think is that wake up, getting up in the morning, right? How did you do that? Or the people that you've mentored, people that you've trained, how do you help them when you just hit snooze on the alarm clock and then go back? I know that you're talking about a running buddy and having someone else, but what else? What else can one do?
Yeah. So work backwards. So basically the lifestyle we lead today, we sleep very late. So it's all good about as you said, about the running buddy and the peer pressure and mentoring others and all. If you don't sleep early enough, you can't get up in the morning no matter what, right? Or even if you do get up early morning, basically you haven't gotten up fresh.
Right.
And if you haven't done that, you're going to be irritated throughout the day and your blood pressure will be high. Just to begin with, idea was to get healthier and you messed it up more, right? So sleep is going to be very important. You'll have to start altering things. You need to go to bed early enough. Effectively, and then you need to have your dinner early enough, so at least 2 to 3 hours before. So we were starting to work backwards now, saying the day before, how should it have been? So if you aren't sleeping by 10ish, how can you possibly get up at a 4:35 kind of a time, all right? Because we showed up at 5:30, 5:45 today here, does effectively mean that you have to get up by latest 5. So just work backwards, and that's very important. As I said, dinner 2 to 3 hours before. Start doing that habit. Start making that habit. It all starts coming together. It does not happen overnight. It'll be about 5 minutes per week. Can you start altering? Can you start changing? About sleep, one simple habit that people should work with is start sleeping tonight. Don't sleep tomorrow, right?
Not after the run.
No. I meant midnight. So not post midnight. Yes. So can we go to 11 at least? Right? 11, whatever time. and then can we move to 10 something, right? Now this doesn't happen overnight. It'll be a matter of a month, 2 months, and it's okay. Just keep working on it, shifting a little bit this way. That's a big shift. The other mistake that people make is they want to just walk and run, and the muscles are the ones that move them. So it's important that get those muscles working, put in some simple movements. Get up from the chair and just sit down. Get up from the chair and sit down. Squats, right? And I say earn your lunch, breakfast, dinner kind of a thing. So before breakfast, can you just do that 10 times? Sit up, get down, up and repeat. So it's working very, very well. The three joints that we have, it works them really well. So it's such, just get in the habit of moving. Go to a mall, take the stairs. So just gradually, just don't think about that half an hour, that 1 hour in the morning, I'll do magic. Lifestyle, yes. Walk a bit more.
Get down one bus stop early. Walk up
Yes. Park your car a little further away from wherever the main gate or whatever it is. Just start doing that. Put into lifestyle, yes.
Sure. What are couple of questions more? What are some of those? One you've said sit down and get up, right? So squats definitely that you're speaking about, and what are some of those little initial quick exercises, that maybe if you could just kind of show a couple of them, if it's doable over here, somebody that's doing a 5K, so that they don't end up injuring, they don't end up having any challenges. Couple of
the biggest one is actually breathing, because what do you hear from a runner? Hey, listen, I have started running, and within 10 minutes I get very breathless and I can't carry on. Regular, first thing that we are asked. Effectively, what I want people to do is, breathing will not magically solve itself while running if you don't breathe well while sitting or lying down, right? So let's go back to that. While you're lying down, forget about even sitting and doing it. You lie down and take a long breath in, slowly take it in, hold it for a second or two, and you breathe out slowly, all right? Now, why is this important? Because when you breathe in, there's something called oxygen, which we kind of realized during COVID times, were very important, keeps you alive. So you breathe in, that oxygen goes into the bloodstream, goes to the heart, goes to the rest of the body, all right? So go slow with it. That's long, slow breath in. So imagine that bus is going, and at the bus stop, oxygen needs time to get off. So slow breath, all right? And that oxygen gets off, slowly breathe out again. So just conscious, long, deep breath in and out. Get used to that, doing only for a minute. A minute is not too long. Repeatedly, multiple times a day. Lying down, as I said, morning, evening, you do it, obviously. Now, how do you make it a habit? Before you sleep, lie down, close your eyes, relax everything. Take a long breath in and out. Start doing reverse counting. Okay? There's a very good chance you'll be sleeping before 0. Right? Very, very good chance. And even if you don't keep repeating that few times, and you'll be like, you're off. Okay? Very good habit to get into. Just and relax. Then the other thing is, throughout the day, when you're sat, maybe every hour, maybe every 2 hours, for a minute only, can you do conscious breathing? Conscious, long, deep breath in and out, okay? You'll surprise yourself when you're running, it'll start fitting in. You're like, oh my God, I can now breathe. And I'm not getting out of breath and not dying yet, right? It'll start happening. It will not solve itself automatically for a run if you can't breathe while sitting or lying, okay? The other thing is, what people don't realize is the importance of just the heel raises. Just going on your heels like that, right? So you're going off, imagine this is the leg, you're just going off the heel and down. Because for running, we need that movement, like that bouncy movement. Most runners are very heavy when they land. They're very heavy because they don't have this, right? So be that little, that skipping thing, effectively that's skipping. Start doing that. So if you want to begin running with or without a rope, start skipping. Start skipping very gently off the ground, not like that. And your running form will start getting better. So seriously, squats, heel raises, the breathing that I'm talking about, if nothing else, just start with this. Easy ones, rather than giving 10, 20 things to do and then no one does anything.
The simple 10 minutes of this and then maybe break.
Throughout the day, you're pretty solid, yeah.
Fantastic. What about, so 5 kilometers to 10 kilometers, right? What about that level of a progression? I think every 5 kilometers or every few kilometers is the next step. And,
it is.
For somebody that's been doing a lot of long runs, I think 5 or a 10 maybe nothing much. For somebody that started off and just done a 5, the 10 would be a big step forward. So
it is.
How do you get from here to there?
First thing is, if you haven't been running, don't do a 10 right away. first, please do a 5. Okay, get used to the idea of what a 5 is. As you said, 10 will be long enough for someone who's a beginner. So maybe for an ultra marathoner, 10 is nothing, like, it's walk in the park literally. But if you haven't done it, I repeat, don't do a 10 to begin with. Okay? If you've done 5, that's your graduation then to the 10. Okay? Again, if you've done 5, depends, can you do non-stop or where are you with it? If you can do non-stop, then we start talking about, let's start working with 10s, maybe do a kilometer of a jog, or 1 minute of a brisk walk or a slow walk. Catch your breath during the walk part, and then you repeat again. So I'm a very, very big fan of this walk-run business, because the idea would be time on feet, rather than just saying you're running too quick. Most people will be exhausted by 4-5 kilometers. For first 5 will be a lot easy, the next 5 will be disaster. Why do we do that? Let's pace ourselves well, and that's what it does, the walk-run thing. Okay. Again, start slower than most people think they should or they do. Most people begin with, because they're cameramen there and all that, so they want to be on the front page of everything. This will start very quick. So the tip for a 5 or a 10, both of them, start slow. First kilometer, figure out what the weather is like, what the crowd's like, how you're feeling, did you sleep well. Within a kilometer, you'll have a fair idea how you're feeling, right? And then it's like, go for whatever you're doing. Walk run is still, I would say, if you're a beginner, do a walk run. There will be people who will do a 10K and who are seasoned runners. Their walk run is not needed. I mean, they can do the whole 10K non-stop. So they're very important yet again, start slow. And when we're getting into the 10Ks, then we're talking about hydration a little bit. Aid stations will be every 2 kilometers. The mistake we make at aid stations is, like, someone signed up for 5K. I have no idea what the registration fees is, but you want to get back that money back. So that water will be there and all that, and you'll be like gulping down. Big mistake. It can be disaster. If you drink too much water, plain water, it can be disaster. Drink whatever's needed. It's a bit between need and want.
Okay.
Right? So do you need it? Or is it a want?
How do we know that? Whether we need it?
In a condition like this, what I would say is it's very, very good, and it'll only get better in a month's time. What I would suggest is every 2 kilometers, take a sip or two and spit it out, or maybe just take a sip or two.
Right.
Don't drink like the whole 200, 300 ml bottles. Not needed. All right. Definitely not for a 5K. All right. So if there are 2 aid stations, sip or two, just 1 bottle will last you the whole lot. The small bottle, right? For the 10K, same again. Every aid station, just have a tiny bit. Maybe if you aren't done with the bottle, don't throw it, please. Just carry it with you. That bottle probably will last 3 aid stations, but it'll be a reminder each aid station saying, why not a little bit, okay? While we are at it, going off a little, like carrying the phone like that, what it does is it stiffens your shoulder, and then you stiff with your hips, and then you're landing pat kind of a thing. Either you hold it like that, so it's kind of easier. Don't do that. And that's about it. Yeah.
So 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. I'm a 10K runner. I've not yet done a half marathon, though that's there in the cards, aspirational at one point of time. I'm not in a big rush. But one thing so I've started off with Couch to 5Ks at Hyderabad Runners Days, and then from there moved on into being 10 kilometers. A lot of times people look at my weight, right, and then talk about your weight, what's the right take, how fast or how much distance can I go, the impact on knees. Because when someone's light and nimble and able to do that, that's one thing. But I think the thought for those who, like me, and I used to be way more overweight, right, way more from where to move over here. So someone like that, right, for me, or people like me who really overweight and want to kind of start off the journey, what's the take? Can you run? Can you jog? How do you know what's the right steps to take and where not?
So just before that, what is important is health-wise, 5 and the 10s are doing the job. Okay, so this whole argument about the half and the full marathon, because it's happening everywhere, no one needs to do that part. Very, very important to understand that. So you're doing very, very good if you're just actually forever to do a 5 and a 10. All right, very, very important to put it out there, and not at all to patronize you. But the point is, again, the second point is about the weight and other diseases or whatever. See, the thing is, being more active is far more important than just whatever shaming and all all that is going on. At the same time, 2 very important things which at always at loggerheads. to just say, hey, weight-wise, this is okay to glorify it, that's a problem too. Because let's not do that either. Because it's important we fix it, we work on it. Having said that, as you said, hey, listen, it was even a lot more. And it's a journey, it's a progress in the right direction. So, thing is, being soft on your feet is a very important one. So what I said about the skipping, very, very powerful. All you think about, close your eyes while you're skipping, and you say, hey, can I hear my footsteps? And if you can hear, you're too loud. So you just keep working on, can I be softer? Can I be softer when I'm landing on my foot while I do my skipping? Okay? And that'll start solving it. Whatever we're doing with our feet, landing, all that stuff. Okay, so just start doing that, please. The other thing is eat well. Cut down on things like, we know it all now. Sugar, for example, right? Just cut down on sugar markedly. Start having more proteins and, seems wrong, but more fat. If someone eats an egg, have the white and the yellow. Don't just work on the white only and all that rubbish. So it's idea is let's look at the holistic view. And the more physically active you are, take steps. Don't be in a rush to do a 5K even within a month or 2 or 3. It does not matter. Take 4 months. Get up every morning, do that 10, 15, 20 minutes to begin with, gradually keep building. Strength training. I always keep saying, see, there's a weight and there's a weight. So effectively, it's a fat weight. It's a liability. If it's a muscle weight, it's an asset. So please work with the muscle, saying squats. Other things, bench presses and push-ups and planks and whatever. The whole idea is get those muscles working and suddenly start helping you while you move around, and it'll be a lot easier. So just be on it, and it's your own journey. Just become, as I repeat again, become better than yesterday. Don't be in that peer pressure of whatever is going on, and you're doing solid.
And on that note, thank you so much
Pleasure,
for sharing
ma'am.
your thoughts and your tips with our 5K and 10K runners. Pleasure talking to you.
Same here, ma'am. Thanks. Pleasure.